AC on here in Arkansas because I ate the hot. And not that it's really that hot here in Arkansas, but I think it's hot, so our AC is on. But yeah, hi, hello, how are you? I hope you guys are doing great. I have missed you. I recorded a video last week that I haven't gotten to upload and edit yet, so should be coming out either before or after this video, but I wanted to make a little video for you guys. Full disclaimer, I have a little cocktail here. Matches my outfit. I have a little orange juice and vodka that I'm going to be sipping on. And we're going to be taking some personality tests. Now, this is a secret passion of mine. I actually really enjoy learning information about myself. I do know I'm an INTJ. I also know my full big three, which I know a lot of people do at this point, but if any of you are curious, I am a Taurus sun, Sagittarius rising, and Capricorn moon. So if that tells you anything about who I am, then you're welcome. I also have a coconut water in case I get thirsty. And I did want to shout out, I have an Instagram account that I'm very active on, an OnlyFans account that I post to almost daily, and a TikTok that I post to on a weekly basis. So if you're ever missing out and I'm not posting here, those are good places to find me. So let's go ahead and find some tests to take. This should be fun. Okay, Twilight test. No. I did love Twilight. Actually, fun fact, trivia. My first username on YouTube was Edward Lover for Life. The 4 was a number 4. That was my YouTube username, so yeah. Orientation test. Should we do it? Now, I do describe myself as a bisexual to those that I don't think are going to be homophobic. So, I identify as a woman. I found a man attractive in the past 2 weeks. Oh wait, hold on. Entertain the fantasy of being in a long-term relationship with a woman in the past 2 weeks. I think it's slowly dying for me now that I'm in an intimate, long-term relationship with a man. Wanted to touch a woman intimately and be naked in the company of a woman. Fantasized about non-sexual petting or bodily closeness with a woman. This is tricky. I don't want to piss off my boyfriend, but also, like, women are hot. Okay, I'm also gonna be vaping, so trigger warning. I can't tell if that's strong or if I'm just like being a fucking pussy. Fantasized. Pretty often. myself sexually aroused by a woman. Fantasized about sexual intercourse with a man. Wanting to have a real life sexual intercourse with a man. Okay, guys, well, by this test, I am bisexual, thank God, because that's what I identify as. But I am in a long-term heterosexual relationship with a man, so I think this is a pretty good spot for me. Yeah, 96% heterosexual, 64% homosexual. Okay, let's take another one. Okay. I'm gonna try to be better at vocalizing the questions that are being asked of me, because I do want to show the actual questions, but I also think that it's good to talk about what we're answering. Full disclosure, it is 1:30 a.m. in the morning. I wanted to film because I did my makeup today for TikTok, but I don't like wasting makeup and leaving you guys empty-handed, so you're welcome. Okay, DSM style test. Personality styles represent more fluid and dynamic aspects of the personality than the static traits measured by most tests. Personality style. Let's find out. Okay. Others sometimes refer to me as egotistical and self-serving. I would say people do, yeah. It takes someone with an extraordinary mind to understand the full scope of my abilities. Agreed. I'm a woman, so whenever something good happens to me, I seem to ruin it of my own accord. I want to disagree, but I think I would be lying if I said that I don't agree. I have a habit of criticizing people intensely has sometimes been necessary for me to be harsh with people in order to keep them in their place. See, these are very nuanced questions because do I think I have to be harsh with some people in my life? Yes, but do I think it's in order to keep them in their place? That's such an abstract concept. I don't think I act in any sort of negative way to keep anybody in a sort of like pre-decided position in my life. I'm gonna disagree just because I don't think I do that. I subordinate myself to others to avoid trouble. Subordinate. Rank myself lower. Okay. I would agree, yeah. I've engaged in self-mutilation as a way of dealing with psychological pain. Sadly, and actually not sadly, but I don't have it in me to actually hurt myself in very like obvious and like tangibly like visible ways. I've never been able to like cut myself, but I do drink heavily and practice other like forms of self-deprecation in order to keep myself like sane. But I've engaged in self-mutilation. Like self-mutilation is such a very concrete term. I think if I say disagree, I would be lying because I do drink heavily in order to deal with psychological pain. So I'm gonna say agree, but I don't physically harm myself in the ways that are like the most obvious, I guess, but I'm gonna agree. I'm always ready and excited to meet new people. In fact, I love it when new people come into my life. I would agree, but I'm not the most extroverted person alive. I'm actually very okay with the people that I know already, and I'm not like super putting myself out there to meet new people, so I'm gonna say disagree. Dishonest people often try to take credit for the work I've done. Now this is tricky because I have had people in my life try to take credit for work that I've done. I'm gonna agree. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened to me. Okay, tricky time. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many questions. Jeez. I constantly remain on my guard so that no one can take advantage of me. I would agree. Following trusted rules is a good way to approach a task. Mostly agree. I don't have a lot of emotions and I don't express my emotions. Agree. I do have emotions, but I don't express them very like overtly. I respond quickly and with lively emotions in a social setting. I would agree. I'm pretty good at being in social engagements. I seem to have so much energy that I can sometimes be exhausting or annoying to others. Disagree. I don't think I'm like that. When someone pressures me to do something, I get angry and grow even more contrary. Agree. I am often revising my assessments of who I can and cannot trust. I would agree. I'm pretty analytical about the people that I trust, but I don't think I'm I would say person. Now, I get mixed signals on this because a lot of people describe me as a hippie in real life. But I do think that I get told that I'm a very, like analytical person. I keep saying that, but I do get told that a lot. I would agree. I do not let down my guard around others until I know they like me. I would disagree. I don't really care if people like me, per se. People who do things slowly are annoying and need to be criticized. Disagree. I don't think they're annoying. I'm like that. When things get too boring, I feel compelled to start adding a little color to the situation in order to get the party started. Disagree. I'm not like that. I think it's better for people if they get a tough love sort of upbringing. Depends on the situation, but I would say in most regards, I would agree. I don't feel particularly obligated towards my family, spouse, or romantic partner. Disagree. I have a lot of loyalty in my family. When people argue strongly for something, I often find myself arguing with them, even though I thought I made up my mind. Oh, agreeing with them. Okay. Disagree. I think I have very concrete ideas about things. I often get into situations with other people where they end up hurting or disappointing me. I don't think so. I make more jokes and puns than others when I'm talking. It seems to come all by itself without my willing it or thinking about it. Yeah, I do joke a lot. Yeah. I have a very dry, stubborn, sarcastic sense of humor, which can be annoying to a lot of people, but it's very easy for me to make new friends. I can talk to all manners of people, and it's so easy for me to fill up my life with friends. I would disagree. I kind of am a tough person to gain loyalty to. I do what I want without worrying about how it'll affect others. Disagree entirely. I literally analyze everything I'm doing all the time with myself and my partner about how what I'm doing may affect the people around me. It's actually a big point of anxiety for me. So no, I talk more and think faster than others. I'm gonna agree because I do talk a lot. I'm just gonna agree. Okay. I'm almost never happy, and I can't really think of anything that would make me happy. Disagree. I am a depressed type of person. choice but to remain close to people that I know will hurt me. I'm not gonna cry. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Just in regards to family, I'm a very, very, like, to my own detriment, loyal person to my family, even though they hurt me. So, yeah, I agree. I sometimes get confused or feel sad when people are nice to me. Yeah, totally. Actually, this is like a little funny because anytime I travel with anybody, whether it's a friend or family member, they're always like, people compliment you all the time. People are so nice to you in public. And I'm like, yeah, isn't that weird? Like, I never feel obligated to compliments or like kind words from others. And when it happens to me, I'm always just like, are you sure? Like, because I am such an anxious person and I do have so much like issues with my self-confidence, so I would agree, yeah. People have never sufficiently recognized my contributions. I would disagree. I would say anytime I contribute, it usually gets recognized. In some work settings, I would say that's not accurate, but for the most part, yeah. I am less interested in romance and dating than most people I know. I would agree, even though I'm in like a very healthy relationship, it's not something that I would say is like my top priority in life. I'm quick to blame myself when things go badly. Totally. Yeah, that's just an anxious person, like, response. When I'm with other people, I'm often always tense and afraid to be myself. Not all the time, but sometimes, yeah. I'm gonna disagree because if I'm around people I know, I'm not like that. I think rules are meant to be broken, and I have sometimes been in trouble with the law. Have I been in trouble with the law? Yes, previously. Do I think rules are meant to be broken? Not necessarily, but I'm gonna agree for the most part. I can disappear into my own thoughts even though things are taking place right under my nose. I can disappear. Yeah, for sure. I'm very good at dissociating. I often forget my own perspective because I'm afraid that others will reject me if I speak my mind. Sometimes. But for the most part, I would say I would disagree. Sometimes I am like that, but for the most part, no. I can't stand pompous and affected people who think they're better than me. Oh, okay. Affected. Influenced or touched by the external factor. Or artificial, pretentious. Okay. Pompous and like pretentious people who think they're better than me. Yeah, for sure, yeah. No, that's annoying. All my life, I have had to be on guard to prevent others from double-crossing me. No, I don't think so. We're only halfway through, fuck. This drink is strong. I didn't think I made it that strong, and now that I'm drinking it, I'm like, am I gonna be okay? Okay, I'm gonna open my coconut water. Do you guys like my foundation? I know it looks darker than my skin. Next time I order this foundation, which I'll link the foundation down below, I'm gonna get a shade lighter because it's a little orange for my skin. It doesn't look too bad on film, but in person I feel like you can definitely tell it's not my shade. Ooh, I love coconut. Okay. When I'm with other people, I'm constantly anticipating criticism and attacks from others. I would say, yeah. When someone thinks they can deter me from doing what I wish by using threats or punishment, it only strengthens my resolve. For sure, yeah. For the most part, yeah. People think I say strange things in my mind. I think they also talk about my looks behind my back, picking out every deformity and imperfection. People think I say strange things. No. Is there a thought in my head that other people know my imperfections and talk about them? Yeah, but I'm gonna disagree just because I'm alone most of the time and that isn't a problem for me. Yes. I can't be happy about good things that happen to me because I feel like I don't deserve it. Yeah. I sometimes feel like I have no inner core, as if I'm hollow and empty inside. Maybe like 10% of the time, but for the most part, no. Okay. Now this is subjective, but most people have made it to the top, have lied or cheated to get there. I'm gonna assume that they're talking about the top as in like corporate job wise, and I'm gonna say I agree because I don't think a lot of people do it in the right way. I don't really have any close friends. I have close friends for sure. I don't really have a need for close relationships. Disagree, I do have a need for them. Although I am afraid of getting close to others, I wish I had more friends than I do, for sure. I am a unique individual who deserves special treatment. No. My emotions towards those closest to me alternate between love and hate. I'm gonna say I agree. I regard myself as sociable and good with people, but I often end up taking center stage in a social interaction. For sure. Yeah, I'm like that. I'm very introverted, but with people I'm used to, I am very, like, extroverted. And I haven't really seen a lot of people in the last year that are not in my bubble, so it's hard to answer that otherwise, but I would agree. I plan more activities and projects than is humanly possible to execute. A moon base would be so cool. Yeah, I do. You guys should see my, I used a to-doist for my lists of things to do, and I have had at least a dozen YouTube video ideas on there for the last 5 months. That is just, even if I was the most diligent YouTuber and like it was the only thing I was doing, I still don't think I would be able to accomplish the YouTube most people dislike me? I want to say yes because I'm anxious, but for the most part, I would disagree because I think most people I meet like me. I think. I feel better by making big decisions if I get others to suggest a course of action and then follow that. Sure. I guess. Sometimes people smile at me in the street and I don't really know why. Yeah, I guess. My thoughts have a tendency to run in certain strange loops and dwell in weird themes, and I wish I could get rid of them. Yes, for sure. I often get angry with people who annoy me, and then I feel guilty afterwards. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Even when things are going fine for me, I'm anxious that it won't last. Yeah. Yep. I take care to spend my money wisely so that I can handle an unforeseen situation. Yep. I finish my work and chores before attending to hobbies and fun. In most situations, yes. If a good thing comes my way, I feel happy about it. I don't feel happy about it. I don't feel I deserve to be happy. That's hard. I think I'm gonna agree because for the most part I don't think I do, but I want to disagree, but I don't think that would be honest. When I'm alone, I nevertheless sometimes feel that there's something or someone watching me. Sometimes. I actually had the thought tonight that, and I started talking about it with my boyfriend, but he was not ready to have that conversation, but I was like, I think we're in a simulation. What if, like, we just did something really crazy and it broke the simulation? And he was like, I have to pee. And I was like, it's because we're in a simulation. I'm gonna agree. Some of my friends secretly wish to put me down. No, I don't think so. I'm often dissatisfied and grumpy. Yeah. I'm quick to act on a whim, thinking little about the negative consequences of my actions. No, I'm not like that at all. I sometimes jump from topic to topic with little consistency or control. Sometimes, but I wouldn't say that's consistent. It says my thoughts jump from topic to... No, disagree. I feel that some of the people in my life who have expressed love towards me have not really meant it. Some of the people in my life, yeah, I would agree. My mood swings wildly from day to day, or even from morning to evening. Disagree. I can be moody, but for the most part, I stay pretty consistent. I'm afraid of closeness with others because I know it can end with them ridiculing me in front of other people. Disagree. No, I don't think so. People often resent the way I boss them around. Often. I don't think so. I mean, people in my life do say I'm controlling, but I don't think they resent me. I always make sure that my work is well planned and well structured for sure, 100%. I'm not someone who stands on the sidelines when I'm at a party. I always end up catching someone's attention somehow, for sure, yeah. I'm good at coming up with lawyerly excuses for myself when I've done something wrong. Lawyerly. I'm pretty good at arguing, but seems to be no fairness in who makes it to the top. Yeah. I don't feel that things are under control unless I am in charge, or for sure. If I said no, it would be a complete lie. I often think that interactions with other people are just more trouble than they're worth. No. Most people see me as serious and reserved, for sure, yeah. I don't have a lot of faith in my own judgment. Others are usually better at making solid decisions than I am. No. Lying to and misleading people isn't as bad as it's made out to be. We all do it all the time. Disagree. I sometimes find myself in a really combative mode where I put people down and attack them without really knowing why. No. When I'm driving, I have to drive faster and put the pedal to the metal. Even if I don't do it, I'm aware of an urge to do it. When I'm driving, sure, yeah. I wear more colorful and more extravagant clothing and or makeup than others. Okay. For the most part, my clothing is pretty like one color. I wear a lot of black, but I do my makeup a lot more than other people, so I wouldn't say more colorful or extravagant, but I do wear makeup. The thought of having no one in my corner to look out for me makes me seriously afraid. No. Your personality style is compulsive. Okay. A preoccupation with matters of order and control. Not only are you supremely well organized and settled into your usual and familiar routines, you also believe that others should be. This may lead to the people around you to perceive you as a moralistic stickler or busybody, someone who's always pointing out the inefficiencies and mistakes of others, smugly flaunting your own successes as a model for others to follow, unbeknownst to you. However, one reason they cling to the rules is because you feel that you can constantly must fight off urges to let loose in order to be worthy of love and respect. You likely have unacknowledged feelings of anger and defiance that glide away from the world, attempting instead to present as perfect facade that others may admire and respect. Okay, so I'm 57% narcissistic, 43% antisocial, 57% histrionic, 43% dependent, 29% sadistic, 100% compulsive, 83% negativistic, the 43% avoidant, 86% depressive, 71% masochistic, 57% borderline, 57% paranoid, 43% schizoid, 57% schizoid typal, 71% hypomaniac. Okay, let's do one more. We're kind of running up the time here, but should we do a political test or a gender test? Okay. Which is more true of you? I praise structure over spontaneity, and I like to have a plan to fall back on in case something unexpected happens. Or I praise spontaneity over structure, and I enjoy adapting to the situation when something unexpected happens. Structure for sure. When meeting new people, I easily think of things to say to get the conversation flowing. Hello. I like to size them up before I initiate conversation. Size them up for sure. Which is more true of you? I don't pay attention to stupid things like insurance and tax returns, even though I probably should. I make the necessary sacrifices to make sure that the boring but mundanity stuff, mandatory stuff in my life is in order for sure. After a dinner party, others would be more likely to complain that I talked too much and dominated the conversation, didn't talk enough, and left it to others to keep the conversation going. Talk too much for sure. When cooking a new dish, do you prefer to closely follow a recipe and make it up as you go along? Make it up. I'm like in between, but I'm more like to make it up for sure. Which is more true to your interactions with people. Although I enjoy seeing friends one-on-one, I find it more stimulating to hang out with several people at once. The more the merrier. Although I enjoy the liveliness of a group setting, I tend to seek out one-on-one conversations and often end up in one, even without a group. One-on-one. Which statement describes you better? I'm a realist, endowed with common sense. I'm an imaginative and prone to coming up with bold guesses. Realist. Which more often happens to you? Someone asks me a question and doesn't give me enough time to think of an answer before they resume talking. I ask someone a question and get impatient when they don't answer right away. I probably ask a question, yeah. Which is closer to your view? People tend to make mistakes when they don't use their head and listen to reason. People tend to make mistakes when they don't listen to their personal sense of what they know is right. Use their head and listen to reason, or don't listen to their personal sense of what they know is right. This is hard. I guess their personal sense of what is right, because sometimes what other people are saying isn't right for you, right? I'm more concerned with envisioning possibilities, minding the facts. Minding the facts. When examining something, I tend to find that the facts and reality of the situation can speak for themselves. You feel better if you have settled on a viable course of action. Get to keep your options open. Viable option, yeah. In what kind of workplace do you thrive? A fast-paced environment, which I don't get bored, an unhurried environment where I can concentrate. Unhurried for sure, yeah. Which is closer to your usual way of approaching a task? I tend to size up the demands of the task and identify which parts of the job are crucial and which are non-essential. I then work around the non-essential parts in order to get more things done quicker. When I'm working on something, I prefer the result to be solid. That means that I may overdo some of the non-essential parts of the work, but I tend to find that cutting corners is just more work in the long run. For sure. This is exactly what my job that I'm doing right now is about. It is, if you do quick work, you get so many things done and you look so productive, and it's like when you're turning in your timesheet at the end of the day, you can be like, I got all of this shit done. But when you look at how little work I get done, it's like what I'm actually doing is saving people time in the future to double check my work. Oh my god. Result to be solid. Yeah, for sure. Which is more true of you? I am laid back and like to improvise. I like to be on top of things. Yeah. In a meeting, which is more true of you, I like to collect my thoughts and know which point I'm going to make before I start speaking. I can talk and think at the same time. In fact, talking helps me to think. I like to collect my thoughts, yeah. Which is closer to your natural state of mind. Sorry. Planning ahead can often be stifling because you never know when unexpected opportunities might present itself. While I may shift from pursuit to pursuit because of this mindset, I can only truly feel at ease when I have the freedom to call my own shots. Planning ahead is necessary for me to feel relaxed and prepared for what I want to do. While I vague and unclear teachers who expected students to magically infer what they expected them to do and what the criteria for success were. Teachers who did not allow for their students to push against the boundaries of the tasks they were assigned. I guess vague and unclear teachers, yeah. Which is more true of you? I communicate directly, and at face value, I prefer not to assume something that wasn't said. For sure. I cannot help but read between the lines and feel rightly and wrongly that I know where people are going and what their motives are. Correct. I communicate directly, yeah. Which is more true of you? I come across as reserved in order to get to know. Others start to open up more when I am around. Both. I feel like both. Oh my god. This is hard. I would say that I probably come across to most people as reserved in order to get to know, but in my experience, people open up to me like nobody I've ever seen. Like, honestly, sometimes I'll go to the grocery store and a woman will come up to me and start telling me about her, like, mini divorces and shit, and I'm like, hello, I don't know you. I'm gonna say the first one, but honestly, a lot of people open up to me. When faced with a novel challenge, I prefer to think the problem through, using my knowledge and experience to come up with a solution that I know will work. The approach doesn't have to be glamorous as long as it gets the job done, yeah. I tend to end up exploring and imagining the new possibilities that I had not pondered before, and the excitement can sometimes lead me away from the original problem. No, get the first one for sure. Which is more true of you, when I can be mindful of whatever values and personal viewpoints a person subscribes to. At the end of the day, what really interests me is whatever impersonal and objective thoughts they may be able to bring to the table, while I can be mindful of whatever impartial and objective insights a person is espousing. At the end of the day, what really interests me is their personal viewpoints and the values that are important to them. Espousing, adopt or support. Personal viewpoints. At the end of the day, you feel that rational arguments could trump personal values. Rational arguments may be a valuable guide, but they cannot really trump personal values. Rational arguments. If someone wants to convince you of something, they should show me the logic, pointing out how their position is more rational than competing positions. They should have their personal connections with my values and how it affects the people involved. My values should have nothing to do with the conversation. They should show me the logic, pointing out how their position is more rational. But yeah. I'd rather have certain reliable facts that I can know for sure are true than tentative and prospective theories, even if they may ultimately be true. Even if they may not ultimately be true. I'd rather have certain reliable facts let each person hold the beliefs that they now hold. They should give each other space to lay out their personal perspectives and try to understand each other. I would say the second is true, yeah. When others communicate, I more often get distracted when they demonstrate disregard for others' feelings, unawareness of their own feelings, make errors of logic or fact. I think simultaneously both, because they both happen all the time, but I get distracted more probably by when others disregard other people, but I think those are intertwined inherently. But okay, which is more true of you? I like spending time with others, but I predominantly get my energy and focus from being alone. I like spending time alone, but I am predominantly energized by activities and also spending time with others. The first, for sure. I more often feel the urge to roll my eyes when others don't have their act together, are inflexible, and lack spontaneity. Don't have their act together, yeah. Whose genius would you rather have, Einstein or Shakespeare? Einstein. Which is more true of you? I like brainstorming and hearing my own ideas in order to get a sense of how others will react. I like thinking about my new ideas in the peace and quiet of my own mind, mulling over the implications alone. Maybe my own mind. Okay, oh god, okay. INFJ. Okay, this is crazy because I got INTJ before when I took this test, but let's see. Okay, so I'm 73% I, 91% S, 55% F, and 91% J. So dependable, considerate, and loyal to those closest to you. You have a firm grasp of the factual realities that lie before you, as well as an eye for detail, each of which make you naturally gravitate towards others and their emotional needs. Nurturing and attentive, you tend to be quick to assume responsibility and to help out as soon as you see some task that could aid others. Though your surroundings really notice you, you tend to carry out a lot of responsibility. All too often, it is only when you are missing that others notice the immense effort that you usually put in to make sure everything around you is running properly and that everyone is looked after and feels at ease. Conscientious, thorough, and perhaps a bit perfectionistic, you're not one to impulsively chase after new and uncertain prospects before having finished the endeavor at hand. You tend to find a deep sense of satisfaction in working hard to achieve your goals and selflessly supporting others.